Wimberly Show. All right, Super Bowl. Who do you got? Who do you like? And, for me, and I've talked about this over the last several weeks, I of course, will always watch the Super Bowl, love the ball game, love the championship. But the fanfare gets a little much for me. I think the conference championship weekends, AFC, NFC, is the best weekend in the NFL. It dwarfs even this coming up weekend. But nonetheless, which weekend do you like? Is this your favorite? If so, why or why not? And who do you like this week?
Yeah, Jake, so, as you know and as we talked about, college football is certainly my preference when it comes to, type of football. But I love the NFL as much as the next red-blooded American. But this is not my favorite weekend of football, certainly. It's not my favorite weekend of NFL football either. I'll actually go back a week further than you, Jake. I do like the conference championship, and it is hard to beat. It's a great Sunday with two awesome games. I'll go back to the divisional round because you've got 4 games that are played over the course of the 2 days. To me, the quantity, even if the quality maybe isn't quite to the level of a conference championship or a Super Bowl, I think the quantity of games at that stage is what does it for me. So I actually really like the divisional round even more so than any of the others. But for the Super Bowl specifically, I agree with you about fanfare and all that stuff. When it comes down to it, it's a football game, and there's a lot of things that go on in and around it. Look right now at the storylines. They're really not about football right now, whether you're talking about, the Patrick Mahomes, what his father's going through, with the DWI, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and really the whole Kelce family as it stands right now. Patrick Mahomes building on his legacy. That one's at least football related. There's just so many storylines that go into the Super Bowl that are outside the actual scope of the game that takes place there on the field for 60 minutes. I think that's probably what draws or turns some people away from the hype and the buildup. As you look at this game from a kind of each side of the ball and then also holistically, most predictive power ratings out there and metrics out there think that the line's just about right. And again, it's the Super Bowl. It's probably the sharpest line that you're ever going to see on a sporting event in the United States on an annual basis. Like, you're not going to be able to get by the books with some sort of trickery or deception in the Super Bowl. Like, this is as sharp of a line as you're ever going to see. If I had to pick one side of it, I'd probably lean San Francisco, and I say that knowing that means I'm going against Patrick Mahomes, which you do at your own risk. But if you look objectively at these teams, and again, because the Super Bowl has so much extra hype built up and around it, you can't always just tune all that out. But if you look at the game itself, San Francisco, by my numbers, by a lot of numbers out there, it is the best team in football. And Kansas City is a really good football team. They're a top 5, top 10 team in most metrics overall. And they have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, who some say is on course to be the greatest player to ever play the game. I think his resume needs to add a few more achievements before we have that conversation. But this weekend's a big step in that. The San Francisco offense is the number 1 offense in the entire country, in the NFL. The Kansas City defense is a top 5 unit. They're really good. It's probably the best Kansas City defense that Patrick Mahomes has had since he's been in Kansas City and since they've been making these runs. But I don't think that they're as good on that side of the ball as San Francisco is on offense if we get the best version of the San Francisco offense, which I expect that we will with 2 weeks to prepare. And then you flip it around on the other side, Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, it's a top 5 offense, but that San Francisco defense, they're a top 5, top 10 unit themselves. So to me, I think the difference is the San Francisco offense against the Kansas City defense. Would I like to have a quarterback there with a little bit more experience than Brock Purdy? Sure, but I think he's proven time and time again that he can rise to the occasion and rise to the challenge, and I expect he'll do that here. Again, you bet against Patrick Mahomes at your own risk. I understand that. I thought Baltimore was a better team, and Kansas City showed me what I thought there. But I do think San Francisco is the best team in the NFL, led by the best offense with the most weapons. And I think with 2 weeks to prepare, Kyle Shanahan has learned from being in this position before. Andy Reid's a veteran coach who has Super Bowl rings. But I think San Francisco can get it done. But, again, San Francisco -2, that's about as sharp as a line as you're going to get.
Kelley Ford, great stuff as always. KFord Ratings, thelines.com. Make sure to go to KFordRatings.com. Kelley, always appreciate your time. Enjoy the ball game. We'll recap next week. We'll look at some college basketball and move ahead.
Thanks, Jake. Looking forward to it. Appreciate it as always. Have a good day.